Moon Knight, huh?
Ooh.
Yes.
We kind of already had basically female Moon Knight.
So,
That's exciting, actually. So it's rumored.
It's rumored right now. There's been mumblings of Moon Knight as much as there's been Blade for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And Blade is not Phase 4, he's Phase 5.
Yeah.
And, like, the rumors are that they are going to at some point do this because Kevin Feige's talked about Moon Knight, and it's not a character that they keep saying it's going to be on TV directly. So, there's also been, like, casting rumors. The Russo brothers, the Avengers writers, have all mentioned Moon Knight by name. I think they want to move forward with them, but here's my guess that this rumor comes from. If they're willing to do Blade, they're willing to do Moon Knight because they know there will be an audience. If you can spin that off and introduce him properly, because that would then give people a through line, it would make sense to me. You know, it's like a good introduce him in Blade or Blade 2 and then carry him out. It makes sense.
So if it's rumored currently right now for a Phase 5, we know for sure Blade is Phase 5.
Yep.
So there's two places then that you could actually introduce him. The Ghost Rider show.
You could, yeah.
Especially because they said everything on Disney Plus, you have to make sure, like, you watch.
And now they're with Hulu, it's just a connection. And they even said, prior to recording this, I talked about this elsewhere, they're now the same. There will be Marvel TV shows, not Marvel Studios TV shows, on Disney Plus, and there will be that connection now because they all work under one banner. So you could do that on, Midnight Suns or Spirits of Vengeance or whatever they want to do.
And then, of course, you also have him and Blade. Like, there's the availability that you can actually have him meet, almost like how we always meet Daredevil. We meet Matt Murdock first. We figure out what Matt Murdock is, and then we're like, wait a second, something's not right about this guy. And we find out he's Daredevil. I mean, like, honestly, it's a rinse and repeat, but it's a good way of doing it.
I think, to me, the scenario, Blade, I'm going to assume it's going to be a movie set in Europe, because vampire lineage is so Europe-tied. So, if you're going to do that, I would understand it from that perspective. Mark Spector, Moon Knight, Egyptian connection. You can cheese your way over into Egypt and have a split. And Blade, he's dealt with, vampires and werewolves. Same with Moon Knight. So there is a connection there. And now that we've had those talks about them, how there's going to be different almost styles of MCU, I think you start to understand there's going to be the cosmic, the street, and the dark. And the dark is going to be probably where you offset your Moon Knight, your Blade, and your Deadpool maybe, and maybe Deadpool jumps around. And I think Moon Knight is interesting because he's so violent. Because he would make, like, Deadpool and Blade's levels of violence look tame. So, I don't know how you pull that off. That's my thing with it.
So here's what Moon Knight would they do? Would they do the older classic one, or are they going to do, like, the more new suited version that they have?
Both.
Do both?
Both.
Okay, so we'll have potentially both of those costumes in there. I can see them taming it down a little bit.
I mean, by a little bit, they gotta tame him at least 95% compared to how much he does. He is violent.
I don't know very much about Moon Knight besides the fact that I think he's very interesting of a character.
I've read what there was to read, which was like an essentials book that kind of tells you everything, and that's about it. Violence is definitely the key to him, which is makes him some of his appeal and his schizophrenia and stuff. And again, that's something that they have to tippy-toe around carefully because of the schizophrenia. So that's my whole thing with Moon Knight. You either have to change him a lot, and maybe the comics are going to do it in the next couple of years. Maybe they're going to refine him, kind of like they did Captain Marvel, where they changed pretty much everything about her backstory, but it worked. Yeah. So maybe they do that with Moon Knight, and it makes sense. And to me, it's always been that argument where people are like, Moon Knight's just Marvel's Batman. I was like, sure, in the most layman term possible. Did they actually make him Marvel's Batman and just be like he's violent? Because that takes away some of it, I think.
Yeah, it's like I said in the beginning, like we kind of already had a female I'm blanking on her name, when she was in Daredevil, and that's where we originally were going to have rumors of...
Oh, well, not Daredevil, Iron Fist Season 2, Typhoid Mary.
Typhoid Mary, thank you.
Yeah, they did the whole...
So she was a schizophrenic, and they were able to hide that very, very well. So she was one of her personas was extremely violent, and she had multiple, and unfortunately we're never going to know the conclusion of how many she has, because we rumored of 3 of them. But, that was a character that you see her in her actual, comic book form, and you're like, what is this? And you have her in the show, and she was very tame, but she was the same character.
To me, what if it's done like this? What if Blade is happening in Phase 5 because you're waiting for Deadpool as well to see if they can pull off the R, and then if Blade goes R, then Moon Knight is R, and then you're allowed to do whatever the hell you want. And I want to be real with people. There is no way on this planet that Blade's budget is over 150. I will be shocked if it passes $100 million, because Captain Marvel is like 150. Guardians 1 is like 150.
Look,
like Spider-Man 150. What does Blade need? They're gonna shoot that thing in Prague in 3 weeks.
For real.
I will be shocked if it's over 100 mil. They can, I think, gamble hard R on those films because they know the return is there. I mean, Fox did it with Deadpool with 50 mil and made 800.
Yeah.
So I think they might be willing to do it. And if Moon Knight is rumored, I'm willing to suspect they're going to try hard R for him because nothing else would work for me.
Yeah, especially it's like you look at IGN, they did a poll right after San Diego Comic-Con, and it's just like, what are you most anticipated for? Not Blade. It was like 1%, 2%, 5%, 38% or something around that line was Blade.
Was second place, and the other one was like a 1% ahead. The Blade's going to be huge, and I think Moon Knight is your lead off to that. Hopefully we hear soon. I think in the next 2 years we'll know about Moon Knight. I feel that,
Oh yeah. Once we start hearing more about where Blade's going, Moon Knight's going to be right after.